Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Yes, another Monday rolls on around, and I hope that you're really excited for what I hope is going to be a really fantastic and incredibly fabulous week for you. So what I wanted to talk with you about today is something that I've seen happen over and over again. It's actually something that I myself have been guilty of. And it's really important that we really take stock and acknowledge this thing. So a lot of the time there is most of the time when we're looking at our goals and we're looking at what we need to get done and we're looking at sales and needing to get new clients and all of this kind of thing, it can be really usually the knee-jerk reaction or the knee-jerk opinion or like the way that we generally think is that, oh, I've got to do more of like XYZ. I need to bring in some new people. Hey, Kelly, need to look at bringing in some new people. Need to look at, finding some more fans, some more followers, some more, whatever the heck it is that we need. We're always, a lot of the time, looking for more. And a big thing that we often forget and that we really need to remember is that most of the time, not necessarily if you're brand new startup, because that's a little bit different, we've already got a whole load of resources that we can already draw upon and already use. So using more of what you've got. So on my planner last week, I've got highlight, you can see like down the bottom, use what you've got, right? Use what you've already got. So Kelly, this is a little bit like, Kelly and I have worked together before, and you guys know I've got this event coming up on the Gold Coast in October, and I had this idea, it's just like, oh, I should just see if they want to come, like see if she wants to come. So there's often, Kelly, this is really important for you because I know you've been doing lead generation. I know that you've been really getting yourself out there with your Facebook Lives and things like that, and I'm sure that, some of you who are watching either live now or watching a replay, you've already started to build audience. It can sometimes feel like it's an easier solution to go out and do some lead generation, do some Facebook ads, do a new webinar, go and do a whole bunch of new stuff, trying to bring new people in, when in reality, you've probably already got a solid base that you can commence building a stronger relationship with, right? So use what you've got. When I look at this, right? So rather than going out and I've actually turned my ads off at the moment, hold the phone, turn my advertising off at the moment because I have a list already of, 12, 13,000 people that's been culled. It's always been culled. I've got Facebook followers of 23,500. I've got, probably, I was talking to someone on Friday, I think if I go back and look at the numbers, I probably worked with about 250 actual paying clients over the years. So it's like, there's got to be enough, there's got to be some things in there, some untapped resources in there that we can jump in and draw upon rather than going out and spending money on acquiring new people. It costs you more to acquire, hey Ainsley, it costs you more money to acquire a client than it does usually to retain a current client or to look at using the base that you already have. So I'm not talking about necessarily upselling. I'm not necessarily talking about, going to your existing people and saying, hey, I've got this new thing, but I bet that there's probably people that you haven't spoken to for a while that you could maybe recommence a conversation with. So how do you do that? The first thing that I take a look at is going, all right, well, what's going on? So if you look at your list, for example, what are the problems that people are having? What do you know that if they've opted in for something in the past with you, what's the progression that they have gone through? And how can you look at re-entering or reigniting or recommencing a conversation with you? So I spoke to a lady last week by the name of Charlie. Now, Charlie said that she's been following me for ages. She's been watching my videos. She's been getting my emails. I have not seen her name pop up. And, you know, like I like to see you guys, the regulars that come in. It's like, oh, hey. I have not seen her as a regular name pop up in the things that we do. So I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of curious. And she emailed me saying, hey, got some questions about Spy School actually. You know, these are the questions. And I said, hey, you know, let's just hop on the phone. You know, would really love to hop on the phone and answer them for you. And if I can help, then that's great. And, you know, we can go from there. So when we got on the phone, so she's been on my email list for a while. She's been following me on Facebook, watching the videos. It just happened that an email that I sent out a couple of weeks ago was enough to kind of spur her into replying to me with these questions. So I can't even remember, I think it might have been on Niche or something, or standing out on social media. So one of the things that I want you to think about is in your, I'm gonna draw you a really awesome picture. So we've got like stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3 in your prospect journey, right? So usually what happens is that these people in place 1 are brand new to you. They've got one problem, you solve that for them with a lead magnet or with a webinar or whatever it might be. Then what we want to do is we want to progress them. Like, we've got to talk to these new people that come through, which is why your autoresponders and stuff are good. But we can't forget these people over here who have progressed in, number one, in their learning journey with you, and probably also their education journey with you. So what problems do these people have in your list or in your database that you can start building and having a conversation with? And then what about in stage 3, where they're even more educated about you and what you do now? What can you do in there? So we don't always just want to be talking to these new people. This is where the lead generation sits. This is where your autoresponders sit. So if all we're doing is talking in there, then we're leaving like 2/3, you know, just being really rough numbers, 2/3 of your audience are getting bored, because if all you're doing is talking to problem 1, then, you know, they've got no reason to keep listening to you. So if we take a look at your people that you've already spent the time, the money, and the energy bringing in, what can you give to them, or what can you do to organize another free thing, a phone call, a reignition, something that they might be looking for help with, so that you can progress them into becoming a client of yours or into deepening a relationship with you. So we don't want to spend all of our time, money, energy, and resources into just generating new people. We've got to use what we've got as well to look at reinvigorating, renewing. Sometimes upselling is appropriate. Cross-selling is appropriate in some instances as well. So use what you've got, guys. So the action step for Monday for you guys today is to sit down and go, okay, what are my untapped resources that I could use or that I could tap into in order to reach some people that I've already started a conversation with? And or I was having a conversation with another client, Joe, last week. Said, you know, where else is your audience hanging out? Now, this particular lady does adult lessons for piano. I said, you know, if we look at it, and her people are mainly retirees, I said, we've got seniors papers, we've got retirement villages, we've got all these things like physiotherapists, that whole allied health industry that we could potentially be tapping into. You know, why don't we look at other places as well as your list and social media? What other untapped resources have you got access to that we can start speaking into? Hey, Jason, long time no see. Gosh, it's been years. Nice to see you this morning. So use what you've got, guys. It's not just about constantly being on this treadmill of lead generation, because it always has you almost being on that, always on the bike, pedaling like heck, trying to find these new people. And it's a lot harder to find new people than it is just to talk to your existing ones. All right. So have a really awesome and great Monday. Spend some time stock taking where your opportunities are, what are your untapped resources, and then go and take some freaking massive action to go out there, talk to your people, find them, and convert them, all right? Because unless they're converted, they're not a client. All right, guys, have a really great week. I'll chat to you all tomorrow. Bye.